Okay, Stephen Hayes here again. It's the 5th of January and Julia and I are out in the orchard just to make this short video, part 2 in a series I started last week. This tree, you may remember. If you don't remember, then there's a video on YouTube about it. This was growing as a pyramid with branches very close to the ground, and we decided to convert it over to a delayed open centre bush. A pure open centre bush is like a goblet sort of shape. A delayed open centre is where the branches are coming out over, say, 2 or 3 feet. It's a sort of truncated pyramid. So I sawed out, as you can see me doing if you want to look at the first video again, I sawed out the big bits, and now I'm going to use the secateurs to tidy the job up. So if you want to just take that there, Julia. Sorry about any wind noise, windy day. Okay, first the saw, then the secateurs. Yeah, we want it to be open centred, and we want, as I've said before, each year you want new wood. Okay, this is the 2008 wood. Okay, and going back from there, there's the 2000 and just snick that up because it's broken. It's the 2007 wood, which formed fruit buds and fruit spurs, and further back here's older wood, 2006, 2005, and this had, you can see there, fruit buds on it, which are actually fruited. There was a lot of fruit on this tree. You can see some of it on the ground behind you. Unfortunately, we couldn't market all the fruit. So I'm just going to go through this with the secateurs. I made the big cuts to open the tree out, made the big cuts with my saw. Now I'm just with the secateurs, crossing wood, excessive wood, that's in the wrong place. So I'm just going to start here. Okay, that's downward facing, I don't want that. Growth slightly coming out from a system of branches like this, which are pointing down, you don't want. I'll take that one out too. Again, this branch, this leader here is growing into the centre of the tree. I'm taking that out. Remember, as far as possible, to make the cut with the blade of the secateur against the wood, because that gives you a cleaner cut. Now, going up into the tree, cutting that back to a fruit spur. Okay, this bit I'm just cutting to an outward-facing branch. Here, I'm cutting back to a fruit bud. Here's a branch that's growing into the centre of the tree. It's rubbing against other branches, so I'm going right way back. There is a fruit bud, making a cut just behind, a slanting cut behind a fruit bud. So that will fruit, but this space is now freed. Same thing over here. Work my way around the tree. This bit here is right in the middle of the tree. I'm just taking that out. Here's a little leader underneath. Take that out. Again, the centre of the tree. I'm going to take this one out completely. Right. This one I'm also going to take out completely. I'll leave this, or most of it. Here again, there's a branch coming up into the centre of the tree. I'm going to cut that back to a fruit bud. This branch hasn't got any growth on it. I'm going to cut that back to a bud which is facing into an area where there is space, because the way you cut the bud, the way you cut it, the bud that's uppermost will grow. So that grows this space here where there's plenty of room. Working my way around the tree, cutting that to an outward-facing bud, cutting that to an outward-facing bud, pulling this back to an outward-facing fruit spur. Working my way around. That's too low. That's crowded, that's underneath. Cut again to go an outward facing bud. Cut this back to a fruit bud. Cut that back to a fruit bud. This is underneath, that's not growing very well. I'm going to come up closer, Julia, come round me. I'll show you how to make a big cut with the secateurs. I don't have my saw on me right now, but I'm just going to show you how to make a cut with the secateurs. We're coming close.
Right, now go around the other side.
Now that's quite a thick piece, isn't it? Normally I'd cut that with a saw. I don't have a saw on me. I'm going to cut it with the secateurs. I broke a cheap pair of secateurs while I was doing this. Okay, as I cut, I push forward. Okay, see, no problem. That's again, that one's downward facing. That's a bud. You want to come around again? I'll follow you around this way, please. These cuts close up. This is quite an interesting system here. Here we've got some good fruit buds here on 2006 wood. But if all of these fruit buds along this branch, if they all set fruit, then it'll pull down like that by the weight of the fruit. Trust me, it will. And I don't really want that to happen, so I'm going to take this out there. So that leaves this one, it's got a couple of fruit buds on it, growing up into an outward space. It's also renewing the tree. Again, similar cut here. This is a new growth coming up this way. This fruited last year. If I let this fruit, it's all going to pull down. And I don't want it pulling down. You can't mow underneath. So again, another cut like that. Here, cutting that back to an upward-facing fruit bud. Cutting this to an upward-facing fruit spur. Again, I've got two branches here. If I always think about where the weight of the tree is going to be pulling it the following year. So I'm cutting that down. There's another one here. This is growing underneath into space. This is rubbing. In fact, you can see a bit of damage here, but that's rubbing against that. So I'll just take that one out, down to a bud. So, if you want to scan back, Julia, you can see this is effectively a delayed open centre tree. It's a sensitive pruning. Most of the work was done with the saw, but I just tied it up with secateurs. Always think about what you're doing. The one thing to avoid doing is mindlessly going round the outside of the tree, cutting back every single leader. Think about every cut that you make. And I probably can throw my hat through the tree now.